Welcome back to match 3 of the Eventi Minor League. I am Ithaca joined by Scared Panda for this match of Templis versus Offline. So, Panda, why don't you take us through how they've worked in?
Alright, so it looks like we have Templis coming in at different ranges. It looks like all the way within 50 meters or 50 kilometers with the, oh my gosh, I can't see it. With the Armageddon and Dragoon ready to go right in.
Yeah, so those heavy ships just sitting there at the front, ready to just brawl in, try and get tackle. That Geddon just wants to get up and apply those newts as soon as he possibly can. And the match is underway in just 1 second now, and we're off. Immediately. Go on.
I would say it looks like Offline is just trying to run away while Templis is trying to move in, but they're going a bit slower than the others.
Yeah, it looks like that damage coming in from that APOC and the Naga, that Dragoon now dropping into low armor and into hull as well. So that Dragoon is about to just be absolutely annihilated. That is the combined damage from that APOC and Naga at range. The Naga tricky to use. The transversal matching can be a little bit difficult compared to the Oracle, which is a little bit easier. But if you can do it and you can apply damage, then you can do what we just saw there and remove a small ship from across the field.
Yeah, but it looks like the Armageddon's got all of the newts on the Merlin, so the Merlin may go down pretty quickly as well. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that, as the Oracle is taking a ton of damage so far.
Yeah, the offline team just sort of chilling out around the top of the arena there. They're not really going any further away. They're just kind of staying at range. The Armageddon from the Templis team just slowly still burning up towards them, and we're starting to see newt effects being applied to the Merlin. So he's going to be just shut down very quickly. That's his blast as well. He's tackle, so he's not going to be able to screen that Armageddon very well at all now. At the same time, we're seeing the Rifter of Stalins. He's just burned all the way around the side, and he's starting to look like he might be thinking of going in to get tackle on one of the heavy ships, maybe that Oracle, maybe that Naga. If they can get in and get tackle on that and just apply some of that DPS from that Oracle, it could be a big game changer.
And we can see that the Templis do have armor bots, kind of keeping them a little stronger going on. So it looks like they're not really taking as much damage as they could be, with the Armageddon still being kind of a ways out.
Yeah, the executor of the Templis team is really quite far back at the moment. He has turned and started to move in towards his Geddon friend, but he's going to be well into armor rep fall off at this point. So I'd like to see maybe the offline team just take advantage of that and get in. I mean, that APOC can do pretty well if it gets in up close to people. It packs a punch up close with multi-freak, and it's got a web, I do believe, as well.
But it looks like the Rifter is just on offline is just getting shut down right now. It's got pretty much everything on it with a little bit of reps.
Yeah, and the Osprey of the offline team about to go down. He has got a few charges left in his ASB, but it's not enough. He just gets volleyed there off the field. That's the damage coming again from that Oracle. It just does a huge amount of DPS. And the Oracle as well. So now we have a Armageddon with armor reps left in that Executor versus everybody else on the team but no Logi. So it is still possible that Geddon can solo through, especially if he gets in under the guns of this Naga and this APOC and gets his newts on them.
And it looks like they're on the Executor, but while we're seeing what damage is going to be done, what do you think offline should have done with maybe their placing or something like that?
Well, I think if they'd noticed that Executor was quite far away and out of rep range, they should have just turned and burned into that Geddon with as much DPS as they could and just tried to just blap it down before that Executor could turn around and come in. We did see that Armageddon drop reasonably low into armor, so he was struggling, and if the APOC, for example, had managed to come down into multi-frequency range, just applied overheated damage to it, he'd probably be able to just break through those fall-off reps.
It looks like they were able to at least get that Thrasher down. Sorry for cutting you off there.
Yeah, so I think offline still have a pretty solid chance of doing this now. The Geddon is quite slow, and that Executor is really struggling to survive. So if that Geddon can't get in on top of and shut down the Naga and the APOC, I think the offline team may still have this one.
I mean, as long as that Executor can keep doing what it's doing, it looks like it was webbed down a couple of times, got out of web range, and has been caught again. So maybe he'll be able to burn out and then live a little bit longer. We can hope.
Yeah, I mean, we are seeing the newts being spread across most of the offline team. That Merlin has probably been useless for most of the match. He's just going to be flying around telling his friends, I am muted out, there's nothing I can do. The Naga is just at long range. He's fine, but that Apoc has had that Geddon on him for quite some time now. So if he's not already struggling with Cap, he's definitely going to be struggling now. As for every target that drops off the offline team, that's more focused newts onto that Apocalypse.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I really hope that Pandy can stay alive, but that may or may not be just because of his name.
Yeah, the Naga is dropping now. Just that host of drones all around him, just slowly whittling him down.
I have to
and
say,
if that
though,
Apoc is capped out.
Yeah, I think he's been capped out for a little while, but I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with this Merlin. While being neuted out the entire game pretty much, he's still been able to stay alive and kind of keep moving around enough to at least keep 1 point extra on the board for Templis.
Yeah, I think at this point, though, the Merlin is just being left around because he's just not a bother to the Armageddon. He's completely neuted out. There's nothing he can do. That Apoc is neutered out by the looks of it, so this could be a very slow grind now as that Geddon just slowly works through that Apoc with its, well, anemic drone damage, really.
All right, well, let's see if, in the next couple minutes, if they're going to be able to whittle away at each other even more, because at this point it looks like the Apocalypse is just kind of completely out, Cap, and maybe not able to do as much as he would hope.
Yeah, I mean, Apoc does have a heavy capacitor booster, so he is able to fire a few rounds of those in, get some cap, get a few rounds off in his guns, but with the full newt pressure of that Armageddon on top of him, he's just going to be stopping the damage being applied and then stopping for a while until the next cycle of that heavy capacitor booster.
Right, but I'm kind of shocked seeing this, that that one of them hasn't gone down, because they've just been on top of each other. It's been for a couple minutes at this point.
Yeah, that Merlin is actually going around shooting drones, so that Armageddon really needs to just keep that newt on to try and keep him from doing that, because every drone he loses is a chunk of DPS that he loses. And at the moment, it's pretty much neck and neck. The Apoc does have that repper, and he is still repping. Geddon is a little bit lower. So this one's anyone's game, I think, at this point.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, we do also want to take a quick look at the attack bar, because once it fills up, it means that the Apocalypse can actually fire. But if it's depleted, that means that he's completely out of cap and might not actually be able to do any more. So
yeah, this could be really
that's
close.
something to pay attention to as well.
That Geddon is now bleeding into hull. That Apoc must not have that many cap charges left. He's been boosting for a long time under the newt pressure from that Geddon. So at any point we could just suddenly see the damage drop off, and that Geddon might win the match. And he is half structure. The Apoc still repping. That is eating cap as well. So they're both just struggling to apply damage to keep their cap up. Who's going to win this one? This is so close, so hard to tell. The Armageddon is a lot lower, but that Apoc is now dropping through structure as well.
But it looks like the Apocalypse, it's losing, its cap a bit, but it may be enough to take out the Armageddon. Let's see.
I think so. I think he just needs one more cap charge, and that's it. He's got it. He's got that cap charge in. He's fired these guns. He's killed that Geddon. He's lived just long enough to win the game for his pals offline. Take that spectacular victory. Very close match, and we'll hand that one back to the studio.